Hello, everyone. The point of this video is really to give you a clear and simple overview of what plagiarism is and why we cite. So I'm not going over any specific ways of citing in this, for example, like how to cite a chapter in a book. But I am going to review some important information on plagiarism and citation here at NCC. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you all. Okay, you should be able to see it now. All right, so to start off, let's define plagiarism. What is it, right? You may have heard this word tossed around. It basically means taking somebody else's work and passing it off as your own, like pretending it's your own, either by not giving credit or by intentionality and saying, I'm going to take somebody else's work and try to sound smart. So how might we do this? There's really 5 main ways that plagiarism commonly occurs. The first is by taking somebody else's published writing or ideas from a website, an article, a book, a handout, a blog, and just copying and pasting it as your own work and not giving credit to them, okay? The second way is unpublished writing or ideas. This would be like somebody else's writing, maybe in a discussion board or an email or a professor's notes or something, and just passing it off as your own writing, okay? The third way is speeches or talks, like if your professor gave a presentation or a lecture and you incorporated that information into your paper, that's great. You just want to be sure to give credit to where you got it from. So that's where citation, we'll cover that in just a second. Another common way of plagiarizing is by using images, photos, films, sound files, things that aren't yours, and not giving credit to where you got them from, okay? So the important thing again is that you're giving credit and you're not passing it off as your own. And the last way, the newest way, is this AI writing. You may have heard of it, ChatGPT, or other forms of AI writing that have recently become available. If you are using an AI machine, if that's allowed in the class, then you do need to give credit. For the purposes of my class right now, these are generally not allowed. So you would be plagiarizing if you were to use one. All right. So let's cover what NCC's plagiarism definition is, right? Because we're at NCC. What does this mean? Well, the definition for our purposes states that violations of academic honesty policy, meaning you're being dishonest about what you wrote or didn't, is defined as any action or to gain academic credit for work that does not represent your own efforts or knowledge as a student, okay? So if you do this, if you're caught plagiarizing at NCC, what happens? It's up to the professor, honestly. There's 3 options that your professor could choose depending on the situation, the severity, and your conversation with them. The first and the lightest thing that could happen to you is a written warning. This would get reported by the professor still officially, so it would be on your record, but you would have to redo the assignment within a specific time period that the professor gives you, and they would officially say, I know you plagiarized, right? The second thing that could happen is you could get a failing grade for the assignment or test. You don't want this either, so this would be a big fat 0 on that assignment or test. I always tell students, if you're worried, like you feel like you're not going to do well on an assignment, if you put forth your own effort and you completely fail it, like you bomb it, right? It's a terrible paper, that's fine. You're probably still going to get like a 50% on it just for trying. Whereas if you plagiarize, you take AI writing or somebody else's work or pass it off as your own, and you present it as your own, what's going to happen is you're going to get a 0, and a 50% is way better on an assignment than a 0. Like a 50%, you could actually still pass the class if you did all the other work. A 0, now you're talking about, is it, are you able to pass the class depending on how big that assignment was? Last but not least, for plagiarizing on one assignment, you could get a failing grade for the course. And again, this is up to your professor. So you don't want that on your record. You're not allowed to withdraw because of the plagiarism, if you did plagiarize. So don't do it, okay? That is the end goal of this video, is to tell you not to do it. It's not worth it, okay? To avoid plagiarism. So how do we not plagiarize, right? You need to cite. Citing just means giving credit to somebody else. In MLA, which you'll be using for this class, It means using the author's last name and page number of where you got the information in your text. And I have lots of specific videos of this and examples of this available to you on Blackboard, okay? So you want to use proper citations, meaning giving credit to somebody for their idea. If you got an idea from them, okay, in print or online, if you got any information through an interview or conversation or a lecture, if you got exact words from somebody, either in print or in speech, or they had a unique phrase or term that they're using, you want to give credit, okay? Any diagrams, charts, photos, anything that's not yours, you're going to give credit. And if you did use an AI machine to generate any material, if that was allowed, you would want to cite it. Okay, citation styles, there's lots of different ways of giving credit, like citing your work and saying, you know, I'm going to give credit to this person, this machine, wherever I got the information. For our class, we're using MLA, but I wanted to put here, you might run into some other citation styles as you take different classes at NCC or as you get further along in your major. So just know that there's different citation styles for different types of writing or classes. The reason for that is because each citation style features information that is important to that style. So for us in MLA, we need to know the author's last name and the page number because we're in writing and we're doing a lot of reading and we need to know what page you got it from. APA is used for the sciences, and these would use the author's last name and year because a scientific study done in 1955 versus 2022 is going to make a huge difference. So you need to know that year right off the bat instead of the page number. Okay. This is also to help you find sources. So anytime that you cite a source, it's to help other people find out where you got that information so they can find out more about it as well. And the formatting and order is different for each one. So just be aware of that. It looks a little different each time. All right, for NCC, there are a couple of general resources available to you. One is this NCC's resource page that you see a screenshot of here. This is where you can find the MLA handout, the MLA handbook, which you could get from the library, and this QR code will take you there. You can also make an appointment with the Learning Center, where a tutor can help you figure out how to cite your work or how to do citations. These appointments are available online or in person, so they're there for you. Okay, so that's a general overview of plagiarism and citation at NCC. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day.